I dance, make it hurt.
Shalom. Welcome to part 2 of our series going into the esoteric aspects of Sepher Yirah. As usual, there will be links in the description below to obtain a physical and a free PDF copy if you seek it. If you'd like to support, there'll be links there as well. That being said, let's get into it. So we ended here in our last video, and we will be beginning with the letter Aleph, which is here. The letter Aleph in English, this is the letter A. When it is used, it denotes either air or variable. Examples of its use are seen in the Hebrew word for air, ayur. And similarly, in English, we see the word air containing the letter A, denoting this. Breathe, which contains the letter A, denoting air, in which we breathe. Atmosphere, in which the letter A denotes air. And we see it used as a variable in the case of edets, land. We also see it used in words like bag, in which the A here denotes a variable, to denote a variable within, or anything, which the letter A here denotes a variable, as anything is a variable itself. The letter A in the word variable, and other such words. Understand, each and every letter in a word denotes a specific principle in its function. This letter corresponds to the sound A, and is equated with the throat, which takes in Aleph, air, as well as variables, whether breathing air, eating, drinking, or speaking, all of which are variables. The letter Mem. The letter Mem in English is the letter M. It is written in two ways, Mem Sophit and Mem. In Hebrew, each denoting a separate principle. The first Mem will be discussed, and it is in the image of water, from which we get the word mayim in Hebrew, which means water. And if you look at this Mem, it has two hooks at the top of it, which are emblematic of the water and the waves. The letter M having this denotion with the water, this is the secret of the verse, I named you Moshe, I found you in the Mayim, water. As Moses, begins with Mem, the letter M. In English, we see Mem, used as water in the words marina, which letter M denotes water, and milk, which letter M here denotes liquids, and mouthwash, which letter M here denotes liquids, and mercury, which letter M denotes liquids, and mercury is a liquidic substance. Out of his mouth, the sound of many waters. And this verse is an allusion to this secret, even in English, as the word mouth begins with letter M, which denotes waters. Similarly, waters of the mind, which begins with letter M denoting this, or waters of emotion, and letter M in the word emotion denotes waters. And so we learn here the secret of, I named you Moshe, I found you in the Mayim, in the water, because Moshe begins with this letter. The letter Mem, in this case Mem Sophit, denotes earth. We see this in the Hebrew word Adam, and it is known Adam was made from the dust of the ground, as final mem, which we're analyzing here, is used in the word atom. And similarly, the name itself denotes the place from which he was formed. Moreover, the letter itself cannot be pronounced without two sounds, mem. In English, this is the letter M as well. We see this in the word mountain, which begins with the letter M, denoting solids. Man, which begins with the letter M. Money, which begins with the letter M. Masonry, which begins with the letter M. Mall, which begins with the letter M. And the army, which contains the letter M, as the army is primarily concerned with land battle, whereas the Marine Corps, with the letter M in the front, primarily denotes land and sea. Though mem is written in two ways, mem, which is its regular form and its final form. This is the water, which is hooked like the waves, and this is like the earth, liquids and solids. Representing the water and the earth respectively, we will find they are united in principle, as will be demonstrated, and understand that they are united as one. And so we see regarding the letter mem, it's stated here that they are united as one. Mem and mem sophit, the liquids and the solids, together as one, the liquids and the solids. The principle of mem, as it cannot be pronounced but by two sounds of the letter M. Understand, it was stated these two are together. Similarly, we see land, mem sophit, and sea. The mouth, beginning with the letter M, takes in both liquids and solids. The stomach, containing the letter M, processes both liquids and solids. We see this in words like Marine Corps, the letter M here, as this identifies it deals with both land and sea. Its sound, which pertains to the mouth and corresponds to low frequency. Mouth, low frequency. Throat, mid frequency. The throat corresponds to the air in which the throat breathes, and the mouth corresponds to liquids and solids. We have our final of the three mother letters, the letter shin. The letter shin, which corresponds to the fire, in English is the letter S. We see this in the Hebrew word for fire, esh, from which we derive its meaning. Similarly, that which is placed into a fire is reduced to ash. So anything placed into shin will be reduced to ash. In English, we see this in the words sword, which begins with the letter S, signifying it was forged in fire. The S in the word sun, which signifies the fire. The S in the word star, which signifies a ball of fire. Solar, which begins with the letter S, signifying fire. Spirit, which begins with the letter S, signifying fire. And soul, which begins with the letter S, signifying fire. I asked the angel, "Why is shin on top?" And the angel responded, "It was given as a covering for the light." I asked, "How may I know this?" He said to me, "Shh. SH, which means a covering for the light. And so the very act, shh, you must cover the mouth. Similarly, eyes, like a flaming fire. Its sound which refers to the tongue in high frequency. So now we have the three aspects that facilitate all sound. Mem, which corresponds to the mouth in low frequency. Aleph, which corresponds to the throat in mid frequency. A, and the tongue, which corresponds to shin in high frequency. S. Its principle: a covering for light. In Hebrew, we see this demonstrated in words like yelevish, to put on. Which refers to a covering. In English, we see it in the SH for shadow, which is a covering for the light. SH in shade. SH in shirt, which is a covering for the light. SH for shoes, which is a covering for the light. SH for shorts, which is a covering for the light. The SH in sheath, which is a covering for the light. Similarly, a sheath is a covering for the light in the instance of a sword, which is the letter S, by which was forged in the fire, and so it is a covering for the light. Shadow, which contains SH. Similarly, a shadow is a covering for the light. Shirt, similarly, a shirt is a covering for the body, as with shorts and shoes. Flash, and similarly, during a flash, there's a covering of the light. So flash, the SH signifies a covering for the light. And so we come to our first major secret, our first construct tikkun. And the principle is Aleph separates Mem from Shin. The air separates the liquids from the solids. Similarly, low frequency, mid frequency, high frequency, S. Such is the mystery of the Holy of Holies, as the menorah, which is fire, is separated from the shewbread, which is Mem, by the altar of incense, which is Aleph. This law of existence was before the light, as this too is divided in its likeness, as yellow mixes with red and blue. Yellow mixes with red to create orange, and yellow mixes with blue to create green, dividing the summer, Shin, from the winter and fall by the spring. It is beyond time and space, as will be demonstrated by every planet being solids and liquids, separated from a centralized star by space. Every creature in existence will be determined by its aspects, including what would later be the design of the individual partsus, constructs, in the image of Aleph separating Mem from Shin, this being the tree of life, which the constructs are in the image of. So, in part 3, we will be discussing the secrets of Aleph separates Mem from Shin in depth. This concludes part 2. Please like, comment, feel free to share, and turn your notifications on. With that being said, Shalom and Sila.